Hi, everybody. It's Georgia. 7 o'clock on Tuesday night, and I am Georgia Rose from Zenkuda. And today we're going to do a broadcast about healing, how do healers heal. I get a lot of questions about healing energy and from clients, all kinds of people asking me about how we heal, how healing works, how I actually do hands-on healing and that kind of thing. So we're going to go into that. And if anybody has any questions that they want to talk about tonight, you certainly can do that. Not really sure why no one's on here. I hope everything's working okay, because usually I have about 20 people by now. So let me just check out this. Okay, one moment. Here's John. Okay, so when I do healing work, I'm going to talk about what happens with me personally, because I know that there's a lot of healers out there. There's a lot of different modalities of healing out there. There's a great many, hi Marianne, there's a great many people that do healing work, and we all do it a little bit differently. So I'm going to talk about my own personal experience and what happens to me when I do healing work and what I've heard from other people who have healings from me. And then we're going to talk a little bit generally speaking, hi Lisa, about healing and the different modalities of healing that's out there. So I am Reiki certified. I'm a Reiki master teacher. I also practice IET, which is an angelic form of healing with the archangels that I am certified master in. I also have rites of Munaki, which is shamanism. There are 9 rites that are healers' rites that I've been given over, actually twice I took those over the course of a great while. And I also have studied and read a lot of philosophy, read a lot of great works of great healers, from Edgar Cayce to Saint Germain to Mother Teresa, all healers. So hi, Elaine. So I want to talk about, first of all, what is healing and what who are healers, okay? Because I think that's the mystery behind, excuse me, that's the mystery behind the healing work that we all do, is everyone's like, how do they do that? Well, hi Enza, hi Aaron. Well, let's go back to the start, okay? We all believe in source, right? We all believe in God. You know, it's not popular these days to say the word God. Everyone seems to think that that's some kind of a politically incorrect word. So I'm going to use God tonight. And I'm going to use God in the sense of source. So if you believe in God, if you believe in source, if you believe in energy, and that we are all created equal, right? We are all created from this source in some way, right? There is one great energy, God energy, that created us. Then it would stand to believe that we're all connected, right? So if we're all connected, what happens when a person does healing work is they're in complete and total alignment with source. So I go to a place in my consciousness that I am in complete alignment with God. I'm in complete alignment with source and the energy that I know feels like God. And so when I do that, I then focus on a certain object or a certain person to give healing. And that alignment with source that I'm bringing in, I completely focus on that person. It's completely contained. The alignment of my connection with source, with God, is completely focused on that person. That's what Jesus did. When Jesus performed miracles, he was such a prophet and such a master that he was able to focus his connection with such intensity and such purity that he could perform miracles. There are people modern day that can do that. When I do healing work sometimes, and others, not just me, but when I do healing work, many times it's not unusual for me to have a phone call from the person next day or next week telling me how their pain has gone away or their pain has subsided for a while. And that is because we have connected to source. I have not done that. The connection with pure God energy with source has done that. So now if we realize that we all are made from God, right? We're all created from the same source, then it would stand to reason that we all have the power to heal, because we all have the power to connect with source. But not all of us believe that. And that's the difference between a healer And someone who doesn't heal, can't heal themselves, can't heal others, can't give healing energy. They have yet to believe that they can do that. Because when we are in that total alignment with source, with God energy, performing healing and making someone the complete focus of that connection, in that alignment, in that perfection, we have no doubt that healing is going to take place because we're connected to source. And so are you. And everyone out there is connected to source. What happens is we doubt. We doubt that we can heal ourselves. We doubt that we can tap into God and heal. Sometimes we feel unworthy. Sometimes we have a block. We have an anger or a grief or a hatred or something in us that is preventing that connection from being so pure that it can be in complete alignment and focus on what we have to do. And that's why oftentimes when I do healing circles or healing work, I'll ask everyone to put light where they need it most. What I'm doing is I'm trying to create that connection to God's source for everyone in the circle so that they believe that they will be healed. And whether that belief comes to them through me because they see me doing the work, or comes to them when they finally reach a confidence level in themselves that they now can feel source, can connect to source. It doesn't matter as long as everyone gets there. And so that's the real basis behind healing. And so, hi, Elisa. Hi, RJ. And so what happens is healers heal through their connection with God, with source, with energy, with angels. There's many different forms of connection, but it does all originate from the same source. Whether it's an angel or a galactic alien or a shaman or any kind of being, it's all created by a source, a central source that we are all connected to. So in that connection to everything that is all, that has made all of us, there is the ability for healing because that source has created that. So, and I didn't mean to chuckle before when I said aliens or shamanism. I chuckled because people out there sometimes egoically believe that their source is the right source. And I believe that every source comes from the same source. So whether you believe in Palladians or Archangel Raphael or light language or drumming or shamanism or anything that is of the source, of the purity of the source, is to me God energy. So how do you connect with that? So it's not just a matter of wanting it and wishing it. Desire is never enough. You have to have absolute faith and you have to have a knowingness. I've been luckily, or blessed, however you want to call it, in my life to have experiences that gave me a knowingness that I have absolutely no doubt in source, because I have seen and witnessed and felt things that I know could only happen through God, through source. And once those signs come and you accept them and you don't try to explain them away, and you realize, no, that happened because God is almighty, omnipotent, can heal someone, can make something happen that seems impossible to us. Once you accept that beyond a doubt, then the connection with him becomes much greater and much deeper. And so you can heal yourself, but you have to have no doubt that that is happening. I'll give you an example of how when I had breast cancer, I actually stayed into the positiveness. I remember sitting at a table with a nurse, and it was before I was diagnosed. I was going actually for my last biopsy, and everyone was telling me I had cancer, but they didn't confirm it through a biopsy yet because there were all these things that had happened. And the nurse started talking to me about cancer and what the treatment probably was and these things and all this stuff. And I looked at her and I said, "Why are you talking to me like this?" And she said, "Well, you know your diagnosis." And I said, "No, I didn't have my final biopsy yet." And I said, "I would like to stay out of the disease for every second that I can. And once they tell me that I have the disease with great certainty, then I will deal with it. But I am not going to live in the disease for 1 second longer than I have to." Now, some people would call that denial, but that was my faith. I truly believed that if I spent 1 extra second someplace I didn't have to, that I was jeopardizing my chances for having no doubt that I would be cured. And then once I was diagnosed, what I did was the side of my body that was diagnosed, I completely withdrew from, and I only focused on my wellness. I only focused on the side of my body that was completely healthy. And I tried to do that for as long as I could. So I didn't mentally and consciously go in the disease. Why was that? Because I wanted to keep my vibration higher than the sickness, higher than the disease, and I wanted to heal myself. And I knew I could do that by keeping my vibration higher than the disease. And so that is hard to do because we're sick. It's just like when you get the flu or a cold, you want to give into it. You want to be vibrating low. But in keeping our vibration high, that's how we get well. So desire is one thing, but it has to be married to no doubt. You absolutely unequivocally have to believe that the healing process is happening and that you have the ability to heal. And then you have to take time to understand and live in a higher frequency. And that comes through devotion. It comes through a process of having a daily devotion that puts you in a high vibration. And I know everyone knows what that is because we know when we feel high and happy and when we're really depressed and down. Sickness comes the lower we vibrate. So when you do healing work, you want to keep very high vibration. And that's very difficult to do. But you can do it by finding the meaning and the blessings in everything. I'm going to get to you in a second, Beth. Hi, Liz. Hi, Angelique. Hi, Amy. I feel so bad because I had to push Amy's appointment back a little bit, but we are getting together, Amy. So you want to keep yourself in a high vibration and focus that energy and attract the benefit of the alignment. So when we're in a high vibration, we are attracting that alignment that I spoke about in the beginning of the video of being connected to our God energy, to source. There's no higher vibration than that. I mean, angels vibrate pretty high, but God even vibrates higher. And the reason why faith is so important and having no doubt is so important is because as a healer, if someone is on my table or someone is in a circle and they're looking for healing, if they have doubt or a block to the fact that they are being healed right in that moment, the healing won't take place. They have to believe and be open to the alignment and the vibration of the healing. They have to believe and be open to source, to God. They have to believe and be open to allowing that vibration to come in. So when I go into alignment and connection with source, I'm bringing that energy through me and putting my hands on someone to heal them. I'm in effect giving them the source. I'm giving them source energy. But if that person, that human, that body, that light of being is not open to it, it can't heal. So someone has to be open, has to be in belief and in faith and in desire of the healing. So that's why I'm just looking at my notes a minute. That's why Jesus said, your faith will make you whole. Because we're open to healing and we believe and have faith in his ability to heal, source's ability to heal, then we're healed in one way or another. So you have to believe it to receive it, right? Sounds simple enough, but that's really what it is. So desire alone is not enough. You must believe, all right? And now I want to talk about the power of the alignment, okay? Because I don't just use that to heal. I use the power of my alignment with God, my strong faith, my belief to really live my life, to put my life in balance, to bring abundance, to bring joy, to be in a place where the world and the universe is giving me the things that I truly desire for my life purpose. So my life is well used, that I am at my best use in this world. And so I think we all have the ability to do that. I think that being in that alignment is a lot easier than we make it. The first step is we have to tune out a lot of things that are false authority. There's only one authority in the world, and that's God. And next to that is our own authority. And how we align with God brings out our authority, what we truly want to do and what our heart desire is. So when we let all these news and media and social media and all these things in, we are really distracting. It's like putting a a rubber barrier between us and source. So this power of that alignment really means that we have to live in the alignment. We have to do something, a spiritual practice, a ritual, as small as it may be. We have to have a devotion every day to protecting that connection to God, to that connection to source, because that's really how we heal all things. So what kind of things put us in alignment? Could be going out in nature, walking the dog, meditating in the morning. Anything can be a meditation. I am brushing my hair. I'm just going to be really present brushing my hair. You could go to mass. You could, have your flower garden might be, for some of you, a meditation and devotion. Anything that puts you in joy will put you in connection. Anything that puts you in studying about faith and God and healing will put you in connection. But it's a devotion. It doesn't just come because, I'm going to be, law of attraction. I'm going to live my life law of attraction now. It doesn't work that way. You have to be devoted and have some kind of a spiritual practice that opens you to an alignment with God. As long as you believe that we are all made from source, you can connect to source. You're part of it. You were made in the image of source. You were made with source energy. So you can connect to that and then connect to others. So what happens during a healing session? So like Beth is asking, her husband is having sciatica pain, and any suggestions? So if he came to me, I would probably, as soon as he came into the room or contact with me, in proximity to me, I would probably feel where he is in pain. That happens once you're open to healing. I oftentimes can walk in a room and tell that someone is in pain. That doesn't mean I heal them. That just means I'm aware. I don't take it on or in. But I would probably be putting light. I feel like alignment, and we all have the ability to heal and connect to source. So what I wanted to go into was, I have a few more notes. When someone comes to me for a healing and they don't believe, they're probably not going to get the healing. If someone comes and they're open and they understand, they have faith in the healing, then it will happen. Many times when someone gets a Reiki session, not just with me, but generally speaking, afterwards they may feel better, but they also may have emotions that come up to the surface more. So sometimes if it's emotional issues, expect to have more than one Reiki session to really clear it, especially if it's ancestral trauma or trauma that you've had for a long time. So does anybody have any questions for me about healing? I'm going to have to go back and edit the video. I don't know what part I missed, but one of the things that I had said in the video was Jesus said, your faith will make you whole. And that was in reference to, if someone is not in belief of a healing that it can take place, then what will happen is they won't be healed. So what I'm going to do right now is I want to pick the healing card out of my deck, the Circle of Light, and I want to read to you what it is about healing that I wrote a while back, and we can talk about that. If anybody has any questions about what happens during a healing. So the way healers are made, some healers are born healers, but most of the time, I know for me, it was a very strong devotional practice that brought me to a healing alignment, to the frequency of healing. And also, before I read this card, the other thing that I wanted to talk about was, how do you know if you are a healer or if the universe wants you to be a healer? So when I started to get attunements in Reiki and IET, I never had the intention of actually doing healings. My intention when I went to learn those modalities was I wanted to be able to do things for myself and have a higher level of consciousness. So I never wanted to be a healer. That was not my intention. I did not want to be, but it wasn't really on my radar. And then as I started to get my attunements in Reiki and in IET and also my rites of Muniki, and this was over a period of 2 years, my hands started to hurt. And they just hurt. My palms hurt, my wrists hurt. I was in pain with my hands. So I went to the doctor because I thought I had carpal tunnel. And there was nothing wrong with me. And then I had my final Reiki master teacher attunement. And I started to go into circles and practice hands-on with people just because that was, something that I was interested in, but, not really thinking I'm setting up a Reiki practice or anything. When I started to heal, the amount of sensation I had in my hands was so unbelievable. Heat, I could feel energy, and my hands stopped hurting. And I believe that it was because my hands wanted to heal. I believe there was energy pent up in there that wanted to come out. And so that's how I knew I was a healer. Many people will have experienced that. Many people will also just want to heal. They'll find themselves touching people who are sick or laying their hands on animals who are wounded. They have the ability already intrinsically to heal, and they want to heal, so they'll keep doing that. So this is the beautiful card that I created in the deck for the healing card. It's number 15, I believe. And it says on the card, love is the light that heals all. And I chose this photo because all violet, for those of you who ever work with me, I work in violet light. That's the highest vibration on the spectrum. That's why I work in it. And this is what I wrote about healing, and this is the way I feel about healing. Love and light. When we take part in energy healing, such as Reiki, IET, chakra balancing, sound healing, or other modalities, we are invoking the light of universal love to enter our energy field. Love has the power to heal all things and relieve our suffering. Taking part in energy healing raises our vibration and transmutes disease and emotional pain to a more positive vibration. This card suggests it's possible to transmute dis-ease by invoking the light of spirit to raise your vibration and heal that which distresses or pains you. Focus white light on the areas of your body which manifest any pain and allow spirit to heal you. Believe in the power of divine love and light to relieve your suffering. You have the energy of healing light surrounding you now. You may be a light worker who practices healing on others. If so, remember to keep your vibration high and give yourself healing energy and universal love to raise your vibration away from dis-ease. There is light beside you. You are never alone. The love and light of the heart of the universe is always available to heal your woes. And that's so true, that the light and love of the heart of the universe is always available. And I really believe that we all have the power to heal ourselves, to heal each other. We just really have to connect to source and create an alignment with source that we can actually give to one another. I was in a healing circle a few days ago with some people I really didn't know, from a friend of mine that I'm very close to that's going through some tragedy. And there was a woman in the healing circle, and I just did my thing. And she came up to me a couple of days later. I saw her again, this woman that I didn't really know. And she said, I haven't been able to really walk without pain for the last 2 years. In the last 3 days since your healing circle, I'm walking without pain. I believe that's her belief. I believe that's her connection to God. Through me, she was able to find that connection deeper because God allowed that. So I'm just the vessel. I don't do any magic. I just allow myself to be open enough to the alignment of God so that God comes into other people as long as they believe in him and believe in that alignment and believe that they also are connected to the same source. And that's really how healing energy works. Hi, Terry. Hi, Janine. So for those, Janine's my Reiki junkie. So love her. So for those of you who are looking to follow a path for healers, you think you might have the ability to heal, call me, message me. I'll tell you what my personal story is about. And if anybody else has any questions about healing, there's a lot of different modalities out there. Now, I'm going to get personal about myself. I am a healer, okay? What that means to me is that I have the ability to use the alignment, my alignment with source, in order to have the intention to heal someone. I take my connection to source, I fully focus on it, I align with it wholly and completely in another consciousness level. And then I make someone the complete focus of that consciousness and alignment to heal them. I do that through many different modalities, because as I'm doing that with someone and they are my complete focus, God kind of speaks to me and gives me the way to heal them. Sometimes that's through sound, drumming. Sometimes it's through hands-on. Sometimes it's invoking a certain energy or angel. Every single person is different. And that's why what I do as far as healing, even though we call it Reiki because I'm Reiki trained, I can't say that I really am by the book Reiki. I'm a healer. I just use my intuitive connection with God, my communication with God, in order to know what to do for someone. And when you're on the table, I can feel where you need me to be. I can feel where you need that source, where you need God. And that's how I personally heal. My healing has grown to that over the years. In the beginning, I just did by the book Reiki, but I allowed myself to open through the connection I have, through the connection God blessed me with, and that He does through me, so that I can heal on a deeper level. And that's what I do. And I think the more we open to source, the more powerful we become. I don't get up in the morning and say, hey, I'm going to do this today, and I'm going to heal this person, and I'm going to be a super powerful superwoman. It's not like that at all. It's, God, please give me the grace of your spirit if you want me to help this person. God, show me what you want me to do. I am simply a vessel, a tube of light for your source to reach this person. There is no I can do this involved. The only thing I'm responsible for is my devotion and my connection to God, and maintaining that the best I can by living my life well, by using my life well, by keeping myself a clean tube of light for God to come through. That's all I can do. God does the rest. So I'm a healer through God. And that's how healers heal. But there's so many different modalities. There are healers who do sound healing. There are healers who use drums. There are healers doing all kinds of things. Can you tell if your healing is helping a certain individual during hands-on? Sometimes, yes. Most of the time, yes. To the extent I don't always know. Sometimes I hear later on and they'll tell me something. It's not like someone comes in with a cane and skips out. That's not. I've never had that happen. But I think that's TV. But I can feel energy moving. I can feel, I as many of you know, I work with Cancer Group. I work with a lot of patients who are terminal. I also work with patients who are in remission. I can feel it. I can feel if death is imminent. I can feel if someone is giving up. I can feel if someone is not in touch with emotional things. Sometimes I'll feel someone has a broken heart and they're in denial about it. So you can feel energy never lies. Energy never lies. It never lies. I know what I know because I feel the energy. And I think most people are that way. You don't have to have developed the practice I have to know that. You can walk in a room and feel energy. And the problem is the doubt. Most of us do not have the faith, that have not worked on the faith. And so we doubt what we know. Well, you know what you know. And it's usually right on the money if you listen to your intuition. And so I've developed that through spiritual practice so that I can feel, I can feel when someone is in distress. I can feel if they're covering that up. I can feel if they have an ailment in their bones, if they have a gastric ailment. I can feel where they hold significant trauma. Sometimes people who've gone through tremendous loss or divorces or any kind of trauma, you can feel where they're holding that in their body. Oh, this is in your right hip, or this is in your stomach, or believe it or not, we do hold everything in the physical body. The body tells the story. It tells the story. And then on different levels, you can feel energy moving. I can feel if it's in the energy body, if it's in your emotional body. Sometimes even when I go to clear energy, it'll feel almost like taffy to me. And then I can tell how deep it is. Um, I can feel when something gets lighter. I can feel a heaviness. And if I'm working on a particular area and something feels very heavy or very dense, and I keep doing my healing and doing my light work there, putting light there, asking source to be there, invoking that energy, invoking healing there, I can feel it lift or dissipate. You know, whether or not the person is going to feel that, I never know. They may still feel pain. They may still feel an emotional pain that they don't want to let go of. But that's, I'm doing the work. I can feel it. Hi, Gina. So I hope that answers your question, John. So yeah, we can definitely tell if we're helping. And sometimes I can also tell if something doesn't want to move out, if an energy doesn't want to leave. And to be honest, sometimes people are in grief or they have a loss and I can't move the energy because they don't want to let go of it. Sometimes when someone loses a loved one or has a very bad breakup or a very bad, a conflict in a family, they don't want to release energy because they don't want to release that person from their heart. And they'll hold on to the grief and hold on to the sadness just to keep that person there. And so that takes a lot of work to get the person to understand, to go into light with that. So does anybody else have any other question? I'm sorry about the loss of sound. I'm going to have to cut that out of the video. All right, I guess that's it. So if anybody else has anything they want to talk about from a healing point of view, I'd love to do that. You can tell I go on a little bit about healing because it's very dear to my heart, this work. But what I will tell you also, for those of you who are thinking about being a healer or taking attunements to heal, it's also very challenging work at times. No matter how, you always hear people will say, oh, you have to protect yourself when you do healing work. I never really believe that. I believe that I just stay in the light. I feel I am protected always. So I don't do anything specific when I go into healing work. I don't really take on energy because I feel like I'm just really high frequency. But that being said, it leaves you very tired because we're expending energy. Think about when you are watching television or you're focusing on a card game or you're focusing on a puzzle or something, and someone comes into the room and says, hey, it's time for dinner, and you don't even hear them, right? Because you're at a different level of consciousness. So when I do healing work and also when I read or if I do a reading for somebody, I'm in different levels of consciousness. I'm really not, it might seem like I'm aware of what's going on in the room, and to some extent I kind of am, but I'm really not. Today I was doing a deep healing on someone, and there was a knock on the doorbell. The person I was doing healing with, there was two of us working on somebody, went to answer the door. When she came back in, I said, I'm really deep in. And I knew she just thought I was talking to her normally, but she was so far away in my consciousness. I said that so that she would know I couldn't deal with anything with the door. So it's kind of like weird. It's like it takes a lot of energy out of a healer when they're really focused, because think about connecting to the source and then taking all that connection and focusing it on one person in complete and total alignment so that you can focus on healing. It's a lot of energy. So afterwards, usually it's a little draining. And so I think we're good.